Hello, my name is Crystal Cromartie, and I'm going to be giving a presentation on spurious correlations. I chose to explore this because it was an interesting limit of the scientific method. For research, I used Chapter 2 of Ferris and Stein's The Real World, which discusses in depth the scientific method and spurious correlations. I also used online articles and publications relating to these instances. Let's begin. So what is spurious correlation? Spurious, the term, has Latin roots, which means false or illegitimate. Two variables or instances are said to be spuriously correlated if it is assumed they are related to one another, but essentially they are not. These correlations can be found everywhere, and they are made in every aspect that we see, including our mainstream media outlets, such as TV, online social media networks, magazines, blogging, vlogging, and many other reading materials that we might encounter on a day-to-day basis. Here is a little chart showing some of the characteristics of a spurious correlation. They normally have no logical connection, meaning that although it may look like there is a correlation or that they are related to one another, essentially they are not. They are normally impacted by what we call a hidden occurring event, or also known as an intervening variable. This is what normally causes the correlation, or causes it to seem like there's a correlation, but actually it's not connected to either event. Spurious relationships usually give the appearance of causation. As I said, it looks like one is causing the other, but essentially it is not. It's important that we realize that correlation and causation are not the same thing. Our textbook talks about that difference a lot. So we'll move on. This was a chart created just to show how spurious correlations actually work. You see, you have the intervening variable at the top, and then you have a variable 1 or variable 2, which also could be an incident or an event. And what happens is, as it says, the change in one variable may not be caused by the same change in the other variable. So meaning that it's not always a cause and effect incident. Two variables or events or incidents are inferred to be related. So it may seem, it's implied as if one is causing the other one, but essentially they're not. And we'll go into more depth on some interesting examples of how this plays out. Here is one example. A percentage of people wearing seatbelts in automobiles correlates with the number of astronauts dying in a spacecraft. So this chart would suggest, due to evidence that the increase in vehicle seatbelt use is resulting in a decrease of astronaut deaths, which would be a cause and effect situation. But however, the probability of car incidents actually impacting fatalities in space is highly unlikely. So it's one of these scenarios where if you look at the data, you may be able to infer that, oh, one is increasing while the other one's decreasing, so it must be causing this. But in actuality, it's completely related to outside or intervening factors. Here's another example. A pirate shortage causes global warming. There are multiple sites that show these different charts related to a decrease of pirates resulting in an increase of global warming. But as we know, there are many factors that contribute to global warming other than the idea of a pirate shortage, which would be human population, hyperconsumption, pollution, overuse of natural resources, just to mention a few, even advanced technology, hypermobility, to mention others. Some examples from Tyler Vegan, who created quite a popular article about examples of spurious correlations, are set here. More iPhones means people die from falling down stairs. Let's cheer the team and we'll lose weight, to increase auto sales, market trips to Universal Orlando Studios. These are things that may look like they relate due to the numbers, due to the correlations. One's increasing as one's decreasing on a consistent basis. But in reality, they're completely caused by separate factors, and it can't be judged just based off looking at different data sets. So I'd like to conclude by understanding the spurious correlation means that we can critically use data findings to develop more logical connections. We can also create paradigm shifts, which is resulting or refers to a profound change in an approach or informed thinking. This allows us to think more critically about the idea of does what we are saying actually match up? Are there logical facts to support this, or are we just simply looking on a very objective level at data without looking at it more subjectively? I think we can learn to analyze and critically contrast between the truth, although as our book says, the truth is often considered relative. But I think if we were to look at things more logically, we could decrease misleading assumptions that we commonly have. So that's my report. Thank you very much.